What if the one person who could have saved Anakin Skywalker was the one person he never warned in time? What if Anakin Skywalker made one different choice on the night the Republic died? What if, instead of running to Mace Windu, instead of drowning alone in fear, instead of letting Palpatine control the next move, he went to Padme? What if the one truth that destroyed Anakin in silence was spoken out loud to the only person who still saw the man inside the monster? Because in the galaxy we know, Anakin faced Darth Sidious alone, but in this one, he tells Padme first, and that single confession changes the fall of the Jedi, the fate of Mustafar, and whether Darth Vader is ever born at all. Coruscant is quiet in the hour before midnight, not peaceful, never peaceful, just quiet in the false way a city becomes quiet when too many people are lying at once. Inside the Jedi Temple, Anakin Skywalker walks through the corridors like a man trying not to come apart. He has just left Palpatine's office. He has just heard the impossible truth. The kindly Chancellor, the mentor who guided him, praised him, listened to him, understood the darkest corners of his fear, is Darth Sidious, the Sith Lord behind the war, the one enemy the Jedi have spent years hunting through smoke and blood. In the original timeline, Anakin carries that truth straight to Mace Windu, then spends the worst minutes of his life alone with panic, prophecy, and the terror of losing Padme. But in this timeline, something changes. He does not go to the council chamber first. He does not go to Mace. He goes to Padme. He finds her in her apartment, overlooking the endless lights of the city. She is still awake, standing alone on the balcony, with one hand resting unconsciously against her pregnant stomach, and the other braced against the cold rail. She turns when she hears the doors open, and the moment she sees Anakin's face, every practiced word she might have said vanishes. This is not anger, not jealousy, not confusion. This is fear so total it has hollowed him out. Anakin does not greet her. He does not sit. He does not try to soften anything. He says it immediately. Palpatine is the Sith Lord. Padme goes still. The city beyond them feels as though it has stopped moving. For a long moment, she says nothing, because some truths are too large to enter the room all at once. Then she takes one careful step toward him. "Are you certain?" Anakin nods once, but there is no confidence in it. Only horror. He told me himself. That matters. Not a suspicion, not a clue, a confession. And suddenly everything broken in the Republic begins to shift shape inside Padme's mind. The emergency powers, the war budgets, the fear, the Senate paralysis that always somehow benefited one office more than all others. It was him. It was always him. Anakin starts pacing the room like a trapped animal. He tells her everything in shattered pieces. Palpatine promised he knew the secret to saving people from death. He spoke of Darth Plagueis like a lesson meant for one student. He pushed Anakin toward fear, toward secrecy, toward the belief that only forbidden power could protect what he loved. Every sentence makes Anakin sound smaller, not weaker, more exposed, because for the first time, he is not talking like a hero or a chosen one. He is talking like a frightened husband who realizes he has been manipulated by the one man he trusted most. Padme does not interrupt. That is why he came to her. The Jedi would hear treason in this moment. Weakness, attachment, failure. Padme hears pain. When he finally stops speaking, the room is silent, except for the low hum of the city and Anakin's uneven breathing. Then Padme asks the question no one else would have asked first. What do you want to do? Not what should the Jedi do? Not what does the Senate require? "What do you want?" And Anakin does not have an answer. That is what terrifies him most. In another life, that emptiness becomes the hole Palpatine climbs through. Here, Padme reaches it first. She walks toward him slowly, as if sudden movement might shatter something already cracked beyond repair. She tells him that whatever happens next, it cannot happen in Sidious's shadow. Not through his timing, not through his trap. If Palpatine wants Anakin isolated, frightened, and forced into a desperate choice, then the first way to fight him is simple. Do not be alone. That changes everything, because Anakin had been seconds away from doing exactly what Sidious needed. Carry the truth to Mace. Get drawn into a crisis. Stand outside the Chancellor's office while fear for Padme and anger at the Council tore him apart. In that future, he becomes a weapon because everyone is already moving too fast. Padme slows him down, just enough. She tells him to bring Obi-Wan. Anakin resists immediately. Obi-Wan is away. Obi-Wan would report everything. Obi-Wan is still Obi-Wan, Padme says. And if there is one Jedi in the galaxy who still sees you before he sees politics, it is him. Those words land deeper than she knows. Bail Organa is the first person Padme contacts. Not through official channels, through a private frequency saved for moments when the Republic itself feels too dangerous to trust. Bail arrives within the hour, still dressed in Senate robes, his face tightening as soon as he hears the truth. Unlike Anakin, Bail reacts like a statesman first. He asks about proof. He asks whether Palpatine knows Anakin has told anyone. He asks how many others might already be compromised. That matters too, because now the problem is larger than one Sith confession. If Palpatine feels cornered, he may not just fight, he may trigger something hidden. Bail suggests a third path. Do not confront him publicly yet. Do not let Mace rush this. Bring Yoda or Obi-Wan into the secret first. Then move with proof, not panic. Anakin hates the delay. He wants action. He wants movement. He wants the sick feeling inside him to become something sharp and final. But Padme holds the line. One mistake tonight, and Sidious wins. Obi-Wan receives the message while preparing to depart Coruscant. It is short, private, and so unlike Padme's usual precision that he changes course immediately. When he arrives at the apartment and sees Anakin, Bail, and Padme together in the half-lit room, he understands at once that the galaxy has shifted. Then Anakin tells him, and Obi-Wan feels the same cold shock, but he hides it better. Not because it hurts less, because years of training have taught him how to stand upright while the floor vanishes. Palpatine is Sidious, the war is a lie, and Anakin has been sitting beside the truth for years without knowing it. Obi-Wan does not judge him. That is another thing that changes this timeline. He sees the guilt already tearing through Anakin's face, and understands there is no need to add weight to a man already drowning. Instead, Obi-Wan begins building the board in his mind. Who knows? Who can be trusted? What is Palpatine's next move if exposed? Where are the clones? Where is Mace? Where is Yoda? That last question matters most, because if Sidious truly built the war, then the war itself may be wired to respond the second he is threatened. They decide not to march on Palpatine immediately. That alone is enough to save the future. Bail quietly begins reaching trusted Senate allies. Padme pulls emergency records tied to military authorization and clone oversight. Obi-Wan sends a coded transmission to Yoda and another to Mace, requesting immediate private counsel outside temple channels. Anakin remains at the apartment, every instinct screaming that they are wasting time. But this waiting is different from paralysis. This waiting is strategy. Palpatine, meanwhile, feels the disturbance almost instantly because Anakin does not return. The young Jedi who should have been shattered, isolated, and ready for manipulation has vanished from Sidious's schedule. No plea for help, no desperate visit, no frantic attempt to stop Mace alone, just silence, and Sidious knows silence can be far more dangerous than outrage. So he makes his own move. Before dawn, clone security units begin repositioning across central Coruscant under the excuse of elevated terrorist threat. Senate Tower access tightens. Communications routes narrow. Emergency fleets adjust in ways so subtle they might have passed unnoticed on any other night. But Padme notices, Bail notices, and once Obi-Wan sees the pattern, he realizes the terrible truth. Palpatine is preparing for exposure, not defending against it. He expected this day eventually. He has built layers beneath layers, and somewhere inside those layers is the real kill switch. That is when Yoda arrives. No escort, no announcement. Only the small ancient master stepping into the apartment with a stillness so deep it seems to silence even the city beyond the glass. Anakin tells him everything. Yoda listens without interruption. When the last word fades, he closes his eyes for a long moment and says what no one else was ready to hear. The clones, part of the trap they may be. Obi-Wan looks at him sharply. You felt this before? Hints, shadows, never enough. Now enough there is. That changes the mission again. This is no longer just about arresting a Sith Lord. It is about stopping a hidden command before it turns the entire Grand Army against the Jedi. Mace Windu is furious when he is finally brought in, not at Anakin, at the scale of the deception. His instinct is still direct action. Strike fast, eliminate Sidious before he can react. But Yoda and Obi-Wan hold the line. If the clones are compromised and Palpatine dies before the command structure is broken, the Order may still be slaughtered in confusion. Padme, surprisingly, is the one who reframes it best. The Chancellor built this war to force everyone into choosing too quickly. If we move exactly when he wants us to move, then even now he is still setting the terms. Mace does not like hearing strategy from a senator in the middle of a Jedi crisis, but he knows she is right. So for the first time, Jedi and Senate resistance move together. Anakin and Obi-Wan will confirm the clone threat through restricted records. Yoda and Mace will quietly position trusted masters on Coruscant. Bail and Padme will begin locking down a legal case strong enough to turn the Senate the moment Palpatine is exposed. And above all else, Anakin will not be left alone. If you're enjoying the story so far, this is the point where the tragedy of Revenge of the Sith starts to come apart. Because Palpatine did not win with power alone. He won by controlling who spoke to Anakin and when. Now, back to it. The evidence is worse than they imagined. Inside sealed medical files tied to Kaminoan maintenance protocols, Obi-Wan and Anakin discover references to behavioral architecture buried in every clone. Not a suggestion, not loyalty training, a command structure, a biological override, something that could turn disciplined soldiers into executioners with one transmitted order. Anakin feels sick. For years he fought beside these men, trusted them, led them, laughed with them. Now he understands they were bred inside a prison none of them could even see. That revelation changes him faster than any council lecture ever could. His anger at the Jedi, at the war, even at himself, begins to redirect. Palpatine did not just manipulate him, he manipulated everyone, the clones, the Senate, the Order. Even Padme, in 1,000 indirect ways, was trapped inside a system designed to steer love toward catastrophe. Padme sees the shift when he returns. The panic is still there, but now it has purpose. Palpatine does not wait any longer. Once he realizes the Jedi are moving in strange patterns and key military routes are being examined, he reaches for the one weapon he still trusts completely. He summons Anakin to his office. That summons becomes the turning point. In the original timeline, Anakin goes as a torn man, still hoping for a miracle. Here, he goes with Obi-Wan, Mace, and Yoda already positioned. Padme and Bail remain in the political shadows, ready to ignite the Senate the moment the truth breaks open. When Anakin enters, Palpatine smiles exactly as he always has, warm, patient, familiar. And for the first time, Anakin sees how monstrous that smile truly is. Palpatine begins gently. He asks why Anakin did not come sooner. He says he sensed conflict in him. He says they can still help each other. Anakin cuts through it. I told Padme, the smile does not vanish, but it hardens. That single line tells Sidious everything. He failed to isolate the boy. And once Anakin was not alone, the trap started collapsing. The confrontation erupts with terrifying speed. Palpatine's office becomes a storm of lightning, shattered glass, and falling metal. Mace enters first, blade drawn. Yoda follows. Obi-Wan anchors the angle from Anakin's left, while Coruscant blazes outside the broken skyline. Sidious is not merely powerful, he is prepared. Hidden channels inside the office activate. Silent security codes transmit. Somewhere deep in the Republic's veins, the Sith Lord's contingencies begin to wake. But because the Jedi did not come blindly, the massacre never gains full momentum. Clone commanders in key sectors are intercepted. Emergency messages are jammed. Trusted Jedi receive enough warning to avoid easy execution. Some clones still turn. Some Jedi still die, but not in the clean, devastating sweep Sidious intended. Order 66 begins fractured, and a fractured purge is a survivable one. Anakin realizes this in the middle of the duel. Palpatine is losing, not because he is weaker, because he has lost surprise. Sidious tries one final strategy. He turns everything on Anakin, not physically at first, emotionally. He speaks Padme's name. He reminds Anakin of death. He promises power. He says the Jedi will never let him keep the life he truly wants. In another future, those words would open the wound wide enough for Vader to crawl through. But Padme has already spoken into that wound. Obi-Wan has already stood beside him in it. The loneliness Palpatine needed is gone. So when Sidious offers salvation, Anakin hears only ownership. He answers not with rage, but refusal, and that refusal breaks the last bridge between them forever. The battle spills from the office into the Senate's upper chambers. Pods tear free from their tracks. Lightning crashes through marble. Yoda forces Sidious off balance through sheer will, while Mace presses him head-on. Obi-Wan deflects a killing arc meant for Anakin, and Anakin, no longer fighting for approval, becomes something far more dangerous to the Sith. Clear, that clarity changes the tempo of the entire fight. He is not lunging blindly, not trying to prove himself, not chasing power through fear. He is simply ending the lie. When Sidious tries to retreat toward a hidden corridor tied to clone command systems, Anakin cuts him off. Not alone, with Obi-Wan at his side, blue and blue, master and brother. The life Palpatine tried so carefully to poison now closing around him from two directions at once. That image would have haunted the Sith Lord more than death itself, because it proves he failed. Anakin Skywalker chose trust before power, and once he did, the Empire lost the only future strong enough to carry it. Sidious falls at last in a room he thought he owned, not because prophecy suddenly awakens, not because one hero becomes stronger than fear, but because one conversation happened in the right place before the wrong man could finish it. Padme's apartment, not Palpatine's office, became the true turning point of the Republic. By the time dawn reaches Coruscant, the Senate is in chaos. Bail Organa and Padme force emergency sessions. Evidence tied to clone programming, war manipulation, and Chancellor overreach begins spilling into public record. Whole sectors rebel against the idea of a silent military dictatorship. Kamino is seized under Republic authority. Surviving Jedi regroup under Yoda and Mace, while clone loyalties split along lines no one thought possible. The war does not end cleanly. Too much blood has already been spent for that, but it ends without Darth Vader, and that changes everything. In the weeks that follow, Anakin is not celebrated as a flawless savior. He does not want that. He carries too much guilt for how close he came to losing himself. But he is not consumed by that guilt either, because Padme and Obi-Wan never allowed him to face it alone. The twins are born into a wounded Republic, but one still capable of reform. The Jedi step back from military power. The Senate is forced to confront how willingly it traded liberty for fear. The clones are finally seen not just as soldiers, but as men fashioned into pawns, and Padme's role is never forgotten, because when history asks when the Sith truly started losing, the answer is not the duel in the Chancellor's office. It is the moment Anakin chose to tell the truth to the person who loved him most. That is the difference between tragedy and survival in this timeline. Not more strength, not more prophecy. Just one honest confession made before fear could turn into obedience. That's our theory. Star Wars has always been a story about power, yes, but even more than that, it is a story about who we trust when we are most afraid. And sometimes the fate of the galaxy is not decided by armies, masters, or destiny at all. Sometimes it changes because one man goes home before he goes to war. If you want more Star Wars what-if stories with emotional hooks, major canon changes, and darker alternate timelines, like, share, and subscribe. And may the Force be with you, ****. If Anakin had told Padme the truth before Mustafar, Palpatine would still have fought, but he never would have faced the one thing he spent years preventing, Anakin Skywalker with people at his side.